In 2049 AD, a devastating disaster named Black December threw the planet into chaos. Billions perished, and the notion of countries was erased entirely. The remaining survivors gradually formed micro-communities called tribes. Over time, these tribes created their own governments and developed distinct cultures. The story moves to 2071, where three siblings from the Origins tribe, Keanu, the eldest, Liv, the middle child, and Elja, the youngest, are hunting in Europa's wildlands. Suddenly, a mysterious aircraft flies above and crashes nearby. The siblings are stunned. They've never seen such a machine. While Keanu and Elja wish to inspect it, Liv believes they should inform their village elders first. Elsewhere, in the Crow tribe's base, Officer Varvara informs their chief, Capitan Ivar, that one of her top units shot down an Atlantean hoverjet. It crash-landed in a forested zone bordering Crimson tribe lands. Ivar craves the Atlantean tech, convinced it's the key to domination. He gives Varvara resources and instructs her to retrieve the wreckage, even if it risks war with the Crimsons. Meanwhile, the siblings tell their father Jakob, Origin's chief, about what they witnessed. Jakob listens but forbids them from investigating further. He warns that the Origins have survived by avoiding outside conflicts. That evening, the tribe hosts a grand celebration for Elja's initiation. Liv uses the event to press Jakob again about the aircraft. Their conversation becomes intense and finally persuades him to look into the matter. The next morning, Jakob wakes his kids early, and along with Mark, a seasoned tribe member, they set out for the crash site. They soon find the aircraft, but its pilot is missing, and the fuselage is riddled with bullets. The children assume it's from the old world, but the adults dismiss that idea. Even the elders haven't seen tech like this. While they search, Elja wanders and finds a strange black cube. He secretly keeps it rather than handing it over. Jakob and Mark decide to stay and investigate, sending the rest back to the village. But Elja quietly slips away to his secret hideout, an abandoned hall full of relics like a keyboard, iPhone, and PlayStation. He hides the cube there, only to hear coughing. To his shock, the Atlantean pilot is hiding in a corner, gravely wounded and focused on the cube. Concerned for the pilot's life, Elja promises to return with medical aid. The pilot begs him to keep his presence secret. Elja hurries back to the village, gathers supplies, and hides the cube. However, his siblings catch him and demand he lead them to the pilot. When they arrive, Liv examines his injuries and insists they bring him to the village hospital. They begin moving the pilot, unaware a crow named Grieta is spying on them. Elsewhere, Jakob and Mark visit Little Praha tribe, only to find it deserted. Their search reveals that both Little Praha's people and Crimson soldiers were slaughtered. One soldier, barely alive, claims the crows are behind it, hunting the Atlantean. Back at the hospital, the doctor does all she can, but the pilot has lost too much blood. Alone with him, Elja returns the cube. The pilot reveals it contains a warning of a looming threat from the east. He says the cube must reach the Atlantean Ark and warns Elja that it must not fall into the wrong hands. He also hints the cube holds answers to the world's downfall. Jakob and Mark return and warn of the crow danger. Jakob wants the pilot gone to protect the tribe and sends a message to the Crimsons. He readies the village for battle. Before any action, screams erupt as Grieta arrives with Varvara and a crow army. Jakob offers peace by surrendering the pilot, but Varvara responds by throwing a villager's severed head. The crows inhale a special gas and attack, forcing the Origins into war. As chaos spreads, Elja finds the dying pilot, who programs the cube to respond only to Elja. He begs Elja to reach the Ark before dying. Elja escapes into the forest, meeting Keanu, who urges him to flee while he holds off their pursuers. Keanu fights but is eventually captured. Meanwhile, Liv battles Grieta, who stabs her and leaves her bleeding by a stream. Jakob is distracted and knocked out by Varvara. Varvara assembles survivors and demands answers about the cube. She kills one prisoner for silence and turns her gaze to a nervous Keanu. Mark interrupts, pretending to know something, and insults her instead. Enraged, Varvara kills him and again focuses on Keanu. However, she changes her mind and decides to enslave the villagers. The crows leave with the prisoners. Only Grieta remains behind to search for the cube. Later, Liv wakes and is horrified by the devastation. As she processes the scene, she hears Grietta nearby. Liv ambushes and wounds her, demanding answers. Grietta confesses the villagers were taken to Braddock, the Crow's heavily fortified base, and begs for death. Before Liv can react, Crimson soldiers arrive, led by David, who claims they're allies. Suddenly, Liv is knocked out by another soldier. Meanwhile, Alya stops to try activating the cube, but it won't work. He reaches Little Praha and sees a mysterious truck. Investigating a building, he's caught by a rugged man named Moses. Moses, a scavenger and electronics expert, promises no harm and earns Alya's trust. Alya reveals the cube, and Moses says he can fix it, sending the boy for tools. When Alya returns, Moses is gone, and so is the cube. Alya rushes outside but is ambushed by a crow demanding the cube. Moses returns just in time and shoots the crow. He tells Alya to hop in the truck and they escape before more crows arrive. Moses apologizes and returns the cube, offering a deal. He'll take Alya to someone who can fix the cube and suggests they sell it and split profits. Alya refuses and leaves, but Moses follows. He points out that Alya is vulnerable on foot and convinces him to team up. As they travel, Alya asks about Black December. Moses isn't sure of its cause but believes the Atlanteans knew and hid it. Now, their tech is the only working one in the New World. Back in Crimson territory, Liv wakes in a hospital. David explains they knocked her out to keep their base secret but assures her safety. When asked, Liv tells him about the pilot and crash, but hides the cube. David sends scouts to investigate. Liv wants to save her family, but David admits they've no way into Braddock yet. A Crimson named Sam shows her around their border fortress. Crows are deadly but honorable. They never lie or break promises. The only way into Braddock is as a slave or a crow member. Liv requests to speak to Grietta, believing she might open up to her. David agrees, but only if Liv shares any intel she gets. Liv meets Grietta. The conversation is intense. Grietta reveals they killed everyone for the cube. He doubts Liv can enter Braddock alone, but Liv proposes a deal, freedom in exchange for help rescuing her family. Afterward, Liv tells David she's working on earning Grietta's trust and will share any info. He promises to assist when they attack Braddock. Meanwhile, Keanu and the captives reach Braddock. Varvara sends Jakob to Ivar as a gift. The rest are forced into labor. Keanu gets new clothes and is dumped in overcrowded slave quarters. Later, he befriends a fellow prisoner named Linus. The guards mercilessly beat anyone who stops working. The only escape is to win a brutal fight for freedom, only initiated if Varvara selects you. Elsewhere, Liv revisits Grietta and claims she's now a Crimson prison guard. In reality, she and David have a plan. Liv will help Grietta escape and extract the route to Braddock. Once she gets it, she'll signal the Crimsons. Later, Crimson scouts return with the pilot's corpse, saying the plane is gone, taken by the Crows. Fearing they have the cube, David urges Liv to act fast. Liv brings Grietta food and questions her, but Grietta sees through the ruse and stays silent. Liv then finds a tunnel below the prison that leads to Grietta's cell. Inspired, she tells David she wants to officially join the Crimsons, on one condition: one final meeting with Grietta. David agrees and escorts her to the prison. But Liv turns the tables, steals his gun, and locks him in a cell. She frees Grietta and marches her to the tunnel. After escaping, Grietta overpowers Liv but surprisingly returns the gun, honoring her word. As they move through the forest, Liv says she'd do anything to save her family. Grietta admires her devotion, saying Liv would make a good crow. Liv seizes the chance and asks how to join. Trusting her now, Grietta reveals the secret route to Braddock. To Grietta's horror, Liv then fires a flare, revealing her entire plan with David to expose Braddock's location to the Crimsons. The red-clad soldiers arrive swiftly, apprehend Grietta, and escort both women back to their headquarters. Once safe, David praises Liv for her bravery, and they end up spending the night together. Elsewhere, at the factory, Linus accidentally drops his gear during a shift and is violently punished by a guard. Keanu steps in to help but also gets beaten and thrown down. From the floor, he sees some slaves secretly taking factory equipment. Later that night, Keanu pretends to sleep and observes the same slaves handing the stolen gear to a guard. By morning, Keanu urges Linus to arrange a meeting with Varvara. A few hours pass before Linus brings Keanu to a secluded area, claiming Varvara awaits him. But it's a trap. Linus is in league with the smugglers. Wanting to silence Keanu, one of the thieves pushes him into a pool. Forced to fight back, Keanu uses a glass shard from the water to kill the attacker just before guards storm in and arrest everyone. Later, Keanu is taken to Varvara and tells her what he saw. But a guard, also tied to the smuggling ring, denies everything. Varvara sides with the guard and orders Keanu's execution. Meanwhile, Moses and Elja visit Amina, a mechanic and Moses' ex-girlfriend. She's reluctant to fix the cube but agrees when promised 10% of any profits. She works on it, but nothing functions. Elja finally activates the cube using his eyes. It levitates and displays a massive hologram of an Atlantean pilot. But the device shuts down before they can learn more. After re-evaluating it, Amina discovers the fusion module is ruined. The only one who might have a spare is Braca, who operates a trade post down south. Moses is hesitant to go due to unpaid debts and fears expulsion. Elja gets upset and walks out. Moses follows, and Elja explains that this mission matters because of his family. Amina gives them a rare old world tablet and other artifacts to help settle Moses' debt. The trio agrees to travel together to the trading post. Suddenly, crows attack and Amina fends them off alone while Moses and Elja flee. A crow jumps on them at the truck, but Moses manages to repel him and drives off. Back in Braddock, Keanu is led to execution, but Varvara suddenly interrupts. She had inspected the dead thief's body and found stolen goods. Realizing Keanu told the truth, she orders the guard to kill himself instead. Linus and another thief are sentenced to die, while Keanu is transferred to her estate. Keanu arrives at Varvara's lavish residence and meets a young man named Duyet along with other favored slaves. These men aren't fighters, they're her personal companions. At dinner, Keanu wears his new uniform but refuses makeup. He also declines food and conversation, provoking Varvara's irritation and fascination. She throws his food on the floor and makes another slave eat it like an animal. Everyone is dismissed, except Keanu, stirring Duyet's jealousy. Varvara brings Keanu to her room and violently strips him. She forces herself onto him while holding a blade to his body. By morning, a jealous Duyet mockingly congratulates Keanu for catching Varvara's eye. Keanu, unfazed, notes that they're still slaves, only with different duties. Later, Varvara takes her men to a party thrown by Ivar and his inner circle. There, the Crow leader praises her for finding the plane but emphasizes that the cube matters more. Keanu is stunned to see his father, Jakob, as one of Ivar's slaves. That night, Varvara tells Keanu she likes him and takes him to witness a gladiator-style match. The brutal fight ends with the victor winning freedom by joining the Crows and choosing a new identity. Afterward, Varvara asks Keanu about Jakob, but he pretends Jakob was just his commander. She then asks him to share tragic childhood tales, which excite her. This time, Keanu pretends to be interested in her to gain her trust. Elsewhere, Liv is formally initiated into the Crimson Tribe, getting a uniform and weapon, and joins David to learn about a secret mission he's hidden from leadership. As they prepare to leave, they find soldiers from the capital blocking their exit, led by Cameron, the Crimson's leader. Cameron, a pacifist, labels David a traitor. David claims sole responsibility and asks that only he be taken. Meanwhile, Elja and Moses rest and meet a family fleeing from the east. They warn of a deadly threat called black swarms approaching Europa. Witnessing it means certain death. But their limited English prevents further explanation. Upon reaching the trading post, Moses and Elja are grudgingly allowed in once guards learn Moses intends to pay. Inside, Braca's office is filled with relics from the old world. Moses offers Amina's tablet, worth more than his debt, and asks for a fusion module in exchange. Suspicious, Braca orders a guard to check Elja's bag and finds the cube. Declaring it his, Braca throws them out. Back in the city, Liv continues working as a guard and brings food to David, who warns that Cameron's peace efforts are doomed. He believes the Crows will conquer, not negotiate, and urges Liv to poison Cameron. Later, Liv secretly meets Sam, who gives her a special poison for Cameron's drink. The following morning, Keanu hears Varvara send troops to hunt down the cube. Determined to rescue his brother, he knows he must first earn freedom. He asks Varvara how to enter the gladiator matches. She gets furious, assuming he wants to escape her. To punish him, she brings Keanu to her training area and beats him easily. Keanu says he desires freedom but fears death. Varvara replies that real crows don't fear dying. That night, she dines with Ivar and takes Keanu along. At Ivar's place, he scolds her for the empty plane. While they talk, Keanu sees his father again and concocts a plan. He feigns needing the restroom and sneaks off to hug his father. Keanu explains he wants to fight for his freedom, but Jakob urges caution. Returning, Keanu finds Duyet has seen them and hints he'll expose their secret. Before leaving, Ivar tells Varvara he's chosen someone else as the seventh lord of his inner circle. That night, Varvara summons Duyet to her room, intending to teach Keanu a lesson. Hours pass before Keanu is called in. He obeys silently but is horrified to find Duyet's dead body on the bed. Varvara tells Keanu he must die too and offers him a choice: do it himself or suffer a cruel death like Duyet's. Keanu picks the first option and lifts a blade to his chest. At the last moment, Varvara stops him. She's impressed he's finally fearless and grants him the right to fight for freedom.